Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This week, I was lucky enough to chat with Violett Beane. You probably know her as Jessie Quick from The Flash over on the CW, but more recently she's playing Kara, a reporter who gets pulled into something maybe miraculous on the new show God Friended Me. We talk about that, what it was like to run around in front of a green screen, growing up in Austin, and much more. Hope you enjoy. Hi, Violett.
Hey, Les, how's it going?
Going great. Thanks for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I think I'd originally tried to set an interview up with you in March, and you were shooting a pilot because you were an incredibly busy actress. Was that God Friended Me?
That was here in New York.
It sometimes surprises me. I mean, you hear about projects that lay and turn around for years and languish, and then sometimes things just seem to really happen fast. Did you have any idea when you were shooting the pilot? Did you have a good feeling about this one, or do you try to not keep that in your head when you're working?
Yeah, I was pretty optimistic the whole time. I think especially due to like the premise of the show, we all were like putting it out there into the universe because the show's sort of about coincidence and meant to be and things like that. So we were all kind of like pushing for it and keeping it in our thoughts and stuff.
I grew up with like I saw the George Burns God movies when I was a kid and stuff like that. But these topics can be so loaded with so much assumption about how the show is going to be or what the show might be like or how it might tackle this topic. Was there something that jumped out at you in the script that helped kind of lay the groundwork for trust about this project?
What it was for me was talking to our creators. They've been so open with us since the beginning of all of our first auditions. In fact, they were both in my audition, Brian and Steven. They're the writers, they're EPs, and honestly, just speaking with them and hearing like their background. One is Jewish and one comes from a Christian background that is now an atheist. So just knowing that they both have different stories to tell, but are working together was sort of what drew me in. Not to mention like all of the main characters come from different backgrounds. We've got atheist, Christian, Jewish, Hindu. We have all like a lot of different religions and different stories to tell. And I think once I got a sense from them about how inclusive they wanted to be, like I had no hesitation when it came to that.
That's great. I know you've done The Resident. You've done other shows since doing Jessie Quick, which is really what I first knew you for. Has it been fun playing more and more roles where you don't have to wear a kind of outrageous costume and do a lot of green screen work?
Yeah, it is. It's fun to play something that's a little bit more grounded. Although our world, it does sort of live on the edge of miracles and unbelievability with all the coincidences and things that happen. But, it was really fun to be able to put that suit on for Flash and run around like a real superhero. Not going to lie.
Well, you're absolutely one of my favorite parts of Flash. And so initially when I had gone for an interview with you, it was purely for Jessie Quick. And so now I was like, oh, cool, I can get to talk to her about God Friended Me as well. You lived in Austin growing up, is that right?
Yeah, you're from Austin as well?
Yeah. I live south of the river.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome.
Did you do UIL and one act and all that in high school?
I did in high school. I went to McCallum, which is the Fine Arts Academy. And for the first 3 years, we didn't do, I think it was the playoffs or something. We did UIL, but we didn't do the other one that was like all of the schools, like sort of against each other. But yeah, it was so much fun to do theater and living here in New York has definitely sparked that side of me back up again. And, I've seen a few shows since being here and it just really inspires me. It's just so different from film and television, and it's really fun.
One of the things I remember from my time in high school theater in Texas was that obsession over this idea of craft of acting and how new that was to everybody, and that you could be serious about getting into roles and learning how to do this. And that can feel so different from the actual work of being a professional actor, where, I know you grind through auditions and you go out for roles and.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it was so different. And I don't think that, it necessarily like preps you for that and preps you for really the, the rejection, quite frankly. And it's like, it's not like people telling you no and explaining why. It's just, you didn't get it, or you just have to assume you didn't get it. And and you just have to keep trucking along. And if it's something that you really absolutely love, then you'll stick with it. But definitely, I mean, theater in high school and acting classes are so very different from the actual thing.
Do you remember what you felt like your first real step was in deciding, like, your senior year, I like acting, but I'm going to do a thing that's going to make my life try this particular path?
Yeah. For me, it was like I was in theater all throughout high school, and I was in the plays, and if I wasn't in the plays, I was doing the construction crew, and I was so heavily involved in it, and it was like everything to me. And then we got a new coach my end of my junior year, and personally, I felt like he was a diva. He was like still an actor on he did like touring shows, and I don't think he really like was meant to be a teacher to kids, and I didn't ever feel like a connection to him. And I guess he didn't feel it back because he stopped casting me in anything. And so I just kind of I was missing that aspect of basically my whole life, my senior year of high school. And so I decided to get an agent in Austin for film and television. And I started sending in taped auditions and auditioning for whatever was happening in Austin, which at the time there actually were 3 shows going, American Crime and Leftovers and From Dusk Till Dawn. So there was some stuff happening at the time, and that was really the big step for me. And once I started auditioning and really seeing what I could possibly do, I just decided that college wasn't really right for me. And I just went, wholeheartedly into auditioning and acting, and it seemed to pay off.
And I'm assuming that your family had to have been supportive. They couldn't have been too terribly scared of you doing this.
Yeah, my mom has been an artist her entire life, so she totally gets it. And I think, when I was a senior, she had a little hesitation. She was like, are you sure you want to do this? She wasn't just totally absent about it. But I think when she saw that was what I really liked to do, she just wanted me to be happy, and I'm grateful for that, because I know a lot of people's parents will push them to do school, and they're like, I'll only support you or help you out if you go to this college and do this thing, but maybe that's not what that kid wants to do. So I'm very grateful that my mom allowed me to do what I wanted to do.
Was there a moment in auditions where you thought, this is going to calm down some of those fears? This is really, I can do this. I understand what the work of this is. I still feel like I'm figuring it out. I go into audition rooms or taped auditions, and I still get nervous, and I still, forget what I'm there to do. But I think most of it is confidence. It's like, I love doing this, and this is what I want to do, and this is my representation of it. I think in the beginning, I was really focused on what the right thing to do was, or what they were looking for. And that comes from that rejection. And especially when you're first starting out, you're not used to it yet. And so every single audition you do that you don't get feels like the last one. But I think just with more experience and getting out there and doing it, at least for me, when I go in now, it's like, here's the work that I've done, and I hope you appreciate it. And if it's right, then I can't wait to work with you. But, that's all you can really do, is you can do your form of the art. I think I'd read somewhere that you'd recently written, directed, and starred in a short video for a band. Is that right? Yeah,
a music video for Eyelid Kid.
Can you talk a bit about getting to be behind the camera, and what did that feel a bit like stagehanding back in high school again, or?
Yeah, it was really fun. It was difficult because I was also in it and I was doing the hair and makeup. It was a very small crew. So it was a lot all at the same time, but it definitely sparked something in me, and I know for sure that I want to direct and produce, and that's kind of like my, goals, if you will, to continue like on my journey. I want to have more hands-on involvement in the projects that I do, and also the projects that are put out there. I feel like I'm incredibly capable of it, and I can't wait to do it.
Can you talk a bit about your character on God Friended Me?
Yeah, Kara. She is an online journalist, and she is one of the friend suggestions that Miles gets from the God account. And in the pilot, you kind of pick up Kara. She's got a bit of writer's block. She's dealing with some stuff in her life, and Miles helps her figure it out, essentially, and she feels this odd connection to Miles and the God account and what it's able to do for people. So she sticks around, and they kind of team up to figure out who's behind this account, and in the meantime, they end up helping people along the way.
Do you have anything in particular that you've seen in the script so far that you're really excited about coming up?
It's cool because we get a new friend of the week, is what we call them. Mm-hmm. We get a new friend suggestion every episode, and so each episode has a different storyline, and we're on the hunt for different people and different things that are going on. But the episode we're working on right now actually has a lot of character development as far as the main cast goes, and building relationships between them and between their families, and I think it's a really special one.
I had seen it mentioned that you're into, or that you like to travel. Has there, I think I'd seen in an interview that you'd mentioned wanting to go to Thailand someday. Has there been any place particularly great that you like?
I went, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I did end up going to Thailand a year and a half ago, and it was absolutely everything I had hoped and more. The people were so welcoming. The food was fantastic, and it was a gorgeous place.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how was the food? That would be my...
Oh, my God. I had curry every single day, and it never got old. It's my favorite cuisine. It was beautiful. We went to these, remote islands called the Phi Phi Islands, and the island is so small that no cars are allowed on there, and it was a beautiful, beautiful place. So that's definitely been one of my favorites. Most recently I went to Iceland, which was really cool. My boyfriend and I, we rented a car and just drove down the entire south coast and stopped along the way at all the glaciers and volcanoes, and it was really, really, really cool. And
were those just fun vacation trips, or did you manage to wrap those into work? Or
no, just I like to see as much as I can and travel and get away and experience different cultures and different foods, and and just to do it.
I agree. I've really about the only thing worth spending money on.
It's worth it. Exactly. It's so worth it. It changes everything.
Well, thank you so much for taking out time today. I know you are super busy, and I'm looking forward to watching God Friended Me, and absolutely loved you on The Flash. And
Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener-supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter @TV Dudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.